Hello there and welcome. My name is Jimmy Wickman. I'm an Atlassian expert, and in this video I want to talk to you a little bit about Confluence. And I would like to talk specifically about the macro called cards, because I am completely in love with this functionality, but it's still only for premium users, which I don't like. But I want to show you what it can do and talk a little bit about why I think this one should not be a premium only function. And so let's just jump into Confluence and let me show you the awesomeness that is cards. So here we are now in my sandbox, which is why you have this little yellow color here at the top. So let me just create a few pages into demo space and explain to how this one works. So the first thing we need to do is we need to create, it doesn't really matter if we do a page or a folder, but you need to have a page where you actually put the cards on. So it makes sense to start with a page. So let's call this cards example. And I will just add, because I always do this, so a little bit of content here. And I usually have the page properties here. So if you don't work with page properties, you don't know what this one is, don't worry, we'll have a video for it soon. So let me just remove that. And if anyone from Atlassian is watching this one, it would be nice if I create the page properties, if I could just have the header column, and I could have only two columns, and you can have the header column here by default, since this is how you use page properties. So that would be nice. So I will just do a status and status, and I will say okay. Just so we have some information here. Now we'll just let's do a header image for this one. Put an emoji on it. What should we have? Do one of those, and let's just do it centered and publish it. There we go. So now we have a page, and what I want to do with the cards macro here, I want to show automatically every page that I create under this page. Every sub page that I create for this, I want to show in a nice way here. So first I will create, start with one page, just so you can see what it looks like. So I'll create a new page for this one, and I will call this awesome page. And obviously we'll have an emoji for it, and it will be something like that. And let's do something called like that, and we add some text here. Text about this awesome page that we use in cards. There we go. So now I have a main page and I have a sub page for this one. So what I want to do now is make a list of these ones. And if you have worked with Confluence for a while, you probably use page properties report, or you have manually created some tables and stuff like that, and it's been a painful experience for everyone involved. So what we can do now is that we can just use now, let's not put it here, let's go below. So below here, I would like to use now the new macro that is called cards. Now you have carousel as well. I don't like that one as much as cards. And I will show you why cards is one of the best things since sliced bread, basically. So by default, what you get here, if we go here, you can now have the size of these boxes here. So you can have small, and then you basically have these pills with the image that you have connected to it. And if you go to content here, you will say that I have to now fill in the title, you have to set up a card, you have to have the link. And yeah, if you want to manually curate something, that is okay, but who has time for all that? So what we want to do instead is switch this one from manual to dynamic. And what happens is that now you get a filter for this one. So you see no dynamic cards yet. So I want to build dynamic cards, and this is where the magic happens. So I can now fetch basically content from anywhere I want. So you can have a filter for it if you want. You can have based on last updates. If you want to have a really cool starting page which shows a bunch of things that have last been updated, you can have what kind of type you have. You can have from individuals. You can have based on space, so you can fetch it from multiple spaces. But this is the one that we really want. So content under. So what I want here now is I want to select the one you see in the background, cards example, and everything under that one. That means everything that I create below this one will actually show up. And you will see that we get one result right away. Now I can pick if I want to have verified or not. So that means I can actually have based on page status. So if I don't have it as verified yet, any other status, it will not show up. I can also select only certain labels. So let's say you have documentation of servers, for example, and I want to have a summary page that shows my Windows servers but not my Linux servers, for example. I can now select labels. Or I want to give me a list of individuals that belongs to a certain part of the organization. That I can do. And then you can select then how you want to sort it, updated, created. These are the two that you can have. I would like to have it based on A to Z or Z to A, so you can actually based on title as well. But you take what you can. So for now, we will just have this one as standard. Now, if I do this, you will see that I will still have the pill here. And if I go back to style here, I would like to have this one as large. Then I will have large ones like this. And you can also select if you want to have a slider. So you just have one row, and then you will actually slide this one back and forth. These are the two arrows you see here. Or you can use stacked, which will then mean that they will now go as far as they can to actually stretch on the page itself. And if there are more cards than would actually fit, they will now wrap under. So for those of you who work with CSS, this is the wrapper that you use for CSS. And you can also select if you want to have them aligned in the middle, right or left. Usually you probably want to have them left. So now I have an awesome page. It will automatically fetch the emoji. If I have one, it will fetch the top header, it will title and the text, and it will actually just select a predefined number of characters, and then it will actually cut it off. And for this one, you can also, let me just see content. And under display options, you see I have my image here. So that means that by default, you have page owner actually added to the card. So this way you can actually see who owns that page, which could be good in some cases. In some cases, irrelevant. So for example, if you're building it on your own page, there's no point of having it. You just toggle it off, and you can instead have last updated if you want. Then it's more relevant information perhaps on how you can use this one. But for now, let's just have this one, and I can also select a number of cards. Let's just do 20 here, the maximum that you can have. And then I can update this page. So now I will have this one, and it will actually show as large as you can because I've zoomed in a bit. And let's just clone this one and just copy this one. And let's select something else for the header. And another emoji. Let's do a poop. That would be always fun. So now I have two pages. So if I go back here now, you will say that I now have two cards here. I didn't have to do anything to actually get that to happen. They will just show up automatically as I continue to build my content. And one of the cool things I like about these ones is that they are so easy to make, and it creates really nice views. Now I'm just using single colored backgrounds here, so if I do a little bit more advanced perhaps. Again, what should we search for? We can have, I don't know, all these. And for this one, maybe a train or something. Just like that. And as always, there is a little bit of a delay when you use the cards because they are cached. And now it looks a little bit nicer. So you can see, you get a lot of, how should we put it? It looks a lot nicer than having the old way of presenting things. If you were trying to do this yourself, you would basically have a table here and it would look ugly as hell. And these cards will actually be very useful, super easy to use, and they look fantastic, and you can do a bunch of things with them. So let's just continue this one and just show you what it looks like when you have multiple ones with a wrap. So I can show you the difference between the slider and when you have the wrapper there. So let's do rage. Do we have anything with rage? Anything that looks fun? No. Or maybe just do red. That one looks nice. And let's do one more. And what should we have for this one? Let's do kiss, and we want to have that one maybe, just so we have something. Now we can see we have, and if I collapse this one, you will actually see we get 3 in a row, and then it wraps down to a 4th. And if we have a lot very zoomed in, and then you will see we get 2, and it will wrap here. But if I change this now from the setting that we have, so we used to have stacked. So if I move this one to row instead, and I update this one, now you will just have one section here, but you can scroll here. That's the difference between those two. And if I want, I can even then change the... So instead of having large, I can have medium. Then you can see I can fit 3, and then you will have one more. Or if I want, I can then have the small size, which will make them look like pills, basically. No, sorry, small. And I can have them, let's start with row first, and you can see what that one looks like. So now, you can see we'll now have a nice little list of a pill list here. And if I want, I can even wrap them. So if you imagine, for example, that you are building a guidebook, so you're building something where you have multiple articles, then this could be a very nice way to actually present them. So if you think about this one, for example, and now I have 3 here, and let's say you have 10 pages here. This is a very simple way to actually create a very quick overview of the content that you have here. And if you want to combine them, let's say we have some labels on these two, just to show you how you, oh sorry. Just want to have, put it before here. So I can then add a live search here. So then we can have a large, and then I can search for only the things that you have here. So I can have a label for it, and let's just do pages, the current space, and page excerpt, for example. Now imagine that now I haven't created any labels, and that's only because we only have this one. So if I want to have, if I now search for awesome, I can now get all the information that you have about this one. And if you limit this one to only the labels that you have here, and all of a sudden you will have a very easy way to actually create a database of information that you can now focus both in content. It looks awesome. In a very small space, you can actually have 10-15 pages here with information about different things. And then you can have a live search on top of this one that will only search the content that you have here based on labels. that is very simple, or very easy way now to present something and to find things very quickly. But that was how the cards functionality works. So let me just switch over to my full face here so I can rant a little bit. So let me rant a little bit, because as much as I love this functionality, and I understand that Atlassian wants to make money, I don't think you should hide great functionality behind a paid wall. If I'm paying for a standard functionality, this should be standard functionality. This is not premium. This is anything that does not have this one. Before we did not have premium, I would say. We were hacking things. And we're making ugly things with tables because there was no functionality, no standard functionality that actually could do this. And I think a lot of people picked other tools because of it, because not everyone liked the wiki experience. A lot of people like content creators. So if Confluence is going to compete with Notion and other tools like Notion, and that are more CMS based, that actually have functionality that is very easy to create beautiful pages with, then Atlassian needs to step up. And this is one of those things that should be the starting point for that, but it should be for everyone. If you want to restrict this one for free users, fine. I don't think anyone that uses free tools will rebel against it, but if I'm paying money for functionality to use Confluence, is this really something that I should spend 50% more just to get this? Isn't this the bare minimum that you should have in a tool like Confluence? Writing only text only gets you so far, and with whiteboards, databases, and all of these things that are now added to Confluence, this should not be one of those things that are hidden behind a paid wall only for premium users. So please, Atlassian, let everyone enjoy this amazing product that you have created, because it is quite honestly the best thing that you have pumped out for a very long time for Confluence. And I say that with full respect for the automation team that are, I don't know what you're on over there, but you're doing magic in a frantic pace that I love you guys. It's awesome, all the good things that you're pumping out. But this should not be one of those things that should be like, pay you extra to get it. Please, Atlassian, let everyone enjoy this amazing feature, so they can be as happy and excited as I am. And speaking of happy and excitement, I think that the only thing that remains for me right now to do is to wish you a great day and an awesome week.